bowl prep now. I don't want to say comfortable, but do you feel like your defense is kind of getting a better idea of maybe what to expect from that offense?
They're going to know what to expect. Our staff's done a good job preparing them for that. I don't think that they can possibly have a grasp of it, just how the tempo of it really is. But I think as the game gets going, hopefully you can adjust to it. But I think we'll understand what we're supposed to do. But it'll be faster than what we've practiced against. But we'll have an understanding of it. We're just going to have to adjust to the speed of it.
How was Emmanuel McCray done this week?
He's had a good week. I'm real proud of him. I hope he can. Obviously, he's one of the guys that I would consider to have the most character on this team, and you want those guys like him to go out in a positive way, and he's going to be called upon to play a lot of snaps.
With respect to the guys that you have available, what does not have in Thompson and Golson? Bad
and
depth.
Aaron Morrison.
Yeah.
It's that's part of the game, and it doesn't just happen to us. So you can't make excuses or complain about it. You got to get the next man ready, and then go recruit some more depth. When you do have those injuries, it certainly doesn't take as big a toll on you. But proud of the way these guys are preparing, and they're going to give it their all, and hopefully we can find a way to move the football on the ground some to keep us balanced. But it always hurts when you lose players, and unfortunately we've lost some really good players this year, and that's the worst part of coaching, is when you lose kids to injuries. But it happens.
Talk a little bit about what you've seen out of some of the young guys during bowl practice that you maybe had a better look at.
Well, we're getting tons of reps for those young old linemen, like Conyers and Davion and Durante and Ben Steele. They're getting plenty of reps, and we've seen some good things and obviously a lot of bad things, and it's moving a little fast for them right now. I thought Herbert Moore and Fadal Brown and Anthony Alford all stood out, as we're preparing. Those are guys that will immediately help us, depth-wise in the spring when they become eligible. So it's been good. It's been good to see them do that, and I think it's certainly helped them.
Now it's the rest of those guys after practice yesterday. With Jeremy Liggins, what do you think you're getting with him?
Well, I thought Jeremy, coming out of high school, was one of the best athletes, pound for pound, that you could find anywhere. And, of course, we recruited him extremely hard when I got here. I didn't have much time to recruit him when we first got here, but we tried very, very hard to get him, and we're thrilled that we have him now. And got to get him in here and get him in great shape, and then figure out where he's going to best suit the football team. I think the possibilities are quite broad of what he can do for us. So I'm glad that hopefully we can get the waiver where he can be here in spring and go through practice, and let's find out where he's best suited.
Any idea where you want to try to start him out?
Probably depends on everybody that we have healthy when we start spring ball, and both sides want him. I'll make the ultimate call at some point, but I'd like to get him in here and see him work out and see how his shape he's in. Wouldn't shock me to see him taking some snaps. He can throw it, and he can run it, and also I think he can be a really quality defensive lineman in this league also.
Is Christian Moore's the one now, or does he have to sit out
Right now he would have to sit out a year. He does want to file an appeal, and you can't file that until he enrolls. And I don't know exactly. I know it's due to the health of his grandmother, but all the details I'm not real familiar with at this point. But we'll certainly file it for him and see what happens. But the good thing is we need some depth in spring ball, and he can come in and practice in spring.
From an outsider's perspective, this team over the last few months has kind of been all over the map. From one of the best in the SEC to a disappointment. I mean, just all over the place. Where do you see this team right now? Is this about what you expected going into the bowl game?
It's probably better than what I expected. Now, this is going to be. I'm going to talk out of both sides of my mouth here, okay? Where we are in the journey together is probably a little bit further along, but the way we ended the season certainly doesn't make you feel that way. I think everyone would agree to that. And again, we can talk about all the reasons, and but it is what it is, and you don't feel good coming off the way we ended the season. So we're thrilled that we have another chance to play, hopefully recapture some of the feelings like we had after Texas and LSU and some of those games. So we don't. So I don't know if it makes sense to
Yeah.
you. I think
Does
7
it make
wins in a second bowl game is. If you'd have told me that, I would have been excited about it when we started. But again, I know the importance of finishing strong, particularly in the Egg Bowl, and we didn't. So it's hard to feel great. So we're glad we got another chance.
I know the bowl game would have mattered no matter what, but does it make it even more important now just because of, like you said, wiping that away?
Well, I don't ever make too much out of, at this point, I just have to condition myself to not make too much out of one game because I think you're setting yourself up. We're still a young team in the early stages of building, and so I'm not gonna get caught in saying this one game, will it help erase some of the feelings we have and give us some momentum finishing up recruiting? Certainly, I think so. But you're playing a really good football team that is tough to prepare for and gives a lot of teams great problems. So, I mean, could they beat you? Absolutely, and that doesn't mean that we didn't play well. I just hope we play well, and we'll have to let the chips fall where they may, but it is important.
Coach,